So today let us continue with the same service, that is Azure Active Directory. So we understood some basic concepts and other things as well in the Azure Active Directory. Okay. So I think last time I have created some custom domain. I hope so. Yeah. And this is not verified, right? So let me click on verify. And you already know that. I think I have shown this here. So the domain is previously configured in this and then, and you have to remove this particular domain in the existing directory and all. Okay. So these are the what do you say, the option which I get. Okay. In your case, try to purchase some domain. I think you can go to GoDaddy and purchase some domain, and it doesn't cost much actually. If you purchase a domain for 1 year, it may cost around something after all the charges and all. It may cost around 400 to 500. Okay. I hope we can get it right. So we can get it and we can just see that particular domains and we can do some experiments and we can deploy some particular website and see with this particular domain. In so many cases, this particular domain, what you have purchased will be useful. Okay. So you can do it and you can go to the GoDaddy and you can search for that. Okay. Uh, I think I purchased from there only. You go there and if you search for the domains, domain name search, let's say I'm searching for some particular domain. Okay, so we DevOps, so we let's say, so it will see, right, you can see here, so the tutorials.com, it charges around 300 rupees for 2 years. Okay. Yeah, so you can purchase like that and you can just use it. Okay, so that's what I mean to say. So that's okay. So this is the thing, I think last what we have seen in the previous session. So today let us talk about users and groups which are important for us, right? So users are one of the way to authenticate to your services, to your Azure components. Like let's say if I want to log into the Azure dashboard, okay, so I have to be a part of this particular Azure Active Directory users. I have to be a part of this Azure Active Directory users. Okay, whether you are an organization user or an external user, there are two types of users which we can create. Organization user, which means that the user who will be having username at the rate a domain name, like either it can be a custom domain name or the primary domain which you will get automatically from your Microsoft. Okay, so which means that whenever I try to create a user, for that user the username will be the name of the user at the rate and this particular domain name. So these the users which you try to create with this particular thing is called as organization domain, because he belongs to that particular Active Directory. Okay, so the user was created from this particular Active Directory. Let's say I have a Gmail account. Okay, let's say was a user, he's a client. Okay, I want to allow that particular client to my Azure portal to access something only for temporary purpose, let's say for today and tomorrow, or let's say for 3 days. He wants to access this particular Azure Active Directory and other services in our portal. He's a client. I'm not creating that particular client as a user in my Active Directory. So I want to invite him. So can I invite external domains and all? Yes, we can. So gmail.com is not our registered domain, right? It is somewhere else. So how I can invite a user who is already exists in another domain? So that also can be done in users. So there are two types of users: organization user and external users. Okay, so let's see how to create both the users and what are the steps we have to follow while you're creating this particular users. Okay, so click on users, go to your Azure Active Directory, search for it first. Okay, and then see under which domain you want to create your user. Okay, if you are not in that particular directory, then switch to the directory and it is up to you under which you want to create it. Okay, so let's go to the users. Then this is the portal of your user section. Okay, now what I need to do, I need to create a user. Okay, so for creating a user, there are different operations actually. So you can create a users at bulk or you can create one by one. Okay, I will tell you how to create that particular bulk operations. Right now I want to create one user, and that too we are trying to create an organization user. You can see here, organization user, in the sense, create a new user in your organization, will have a username like alice at the rate and this particular domain name. Okay, let's say I'm trying to create some particular user called Sudhir. Okay, so Sudhir is a user at the rate, and what kind of domain he will get? The predefined domain what we have, or the domain which we have registered. Okay, so this is called as a user who, if you are trying to create with this particular your organization domain, that is called as your user. Okay, organization user. If I try to invite a user who is not part of your organization, let's say Sudhir. Okay, let's say if the user is Sudhir, email address is sudhir.gmail.com. I have this email account. Okay, now I'm inviting that particular Sudhir who is having a Gmail account. I'm trying to send an invite to him and saying that, can you please access my Microsoft account and see some particular things. Let's say I have some particular concerns. Okay, let's say I will say that, hi. Okay, personal message. Okay, I'm just sending some particular information. It is not mandatory. Okay, please log into Azure AD and do the necessary operations for our team. Okay, let's say I've sent this particular message. So I'm inviting this particular user for a temporary purpose or for a longer period. Okay, I'm inviting this user who is not part of your organization, which means that who is not part of your tenant. I'm inviting him. Okay, and then he will get an invitation and he can log into it. Okay, so let me sell this particular invite later, but first of all, let me create an organization user. Okay, so that is a basic difference between the create normal organization user and the external user. It is nothing much difference. Organization in the user, in the sense, the user who will be created under the tenant domain name. Okay, under the tenant you can register your domains, right? Again, I will let me show you. Just click on that, and if you go to your custom domains, you can see the domains over here. Okay, if you create a user with this particular domains, this is called as organization domain, organization users, whatever it is. Okay, so simple it is. Now let me try to create new user, and let's say I want to create a user called Sudhir, and the domain name is this, and I want to give some name called Sudhir. Okay, first name, last name, it is not mandatory, it is up to you. Okay, what you want to give. An auto generated password, or do you want to set a password for this particular user? So let me set a password. I want to set my own password actually. Okay, or let me change this password. It is not. Okay, done. I know what password I have set. Okay, now do you want to add any role to this particular user which you are trying to create? Then you have to select this particular option. Let's say, do you want to add this particular user to any other group? Then you have to select this particular option, groups and roles. Let me show you one thing. What is the benefit of group? Let's say I'm trying to create some user. Let's say the username is called as Sudhir. I've tried to create another user. Let's say, for example, Kumar. And then let's say I've created another user called, okay, and then another user. For example, this is the last user which I'm trying to create. For example, okay. Now these are the 4 users who are working in my, I created in my organization. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to manage a permissions for this particular users. Then what I will do, whenever I'm trying to create this user, for every user I will assign some role. For example, I'm assigning some particular role called user role, or let's say application administration, application administrator. So this is the role which I want to assign. Okay. Now whenever I try to create a user individually, when I do like that, I have to go here and I have to select a role. Okay. So application, okay, administrator, I have to select this. Okay. Or else if I want to assign any other what do you say role, then I have to select that. This is fine. Okay, this is okay, and this is the right solution which you're trying to follow. But if we have some thousands of users, hundreds of users, or some particular, so many users you are trying to create, so how will you handle this? So this is not the right way, right? So tomorrow if I want to change the role, let's say instead of this application administrator, for hundreds of users I want to change the permission from application to, let's say, network administrator. Is that so easy for us to give individually? Not that easy, right? As an administrator, that is a painful for me. If I want to change a permission, again I have to do it one by one. It is not that easy, right? So to avoid these kind of challenges, what I will do is nothing but I will add this particular users under a group. Okay, so logically you are adding these particular users under a group. Okay, now what is the benefit do I get? Let's say I will add, I will say this particular group name as app admins. App admins. Let's say this is the group name. Now the simplest job of this particular administrator right now is he can assign a role to a group. Okay, let's say I will assign a role to the group application administrator. Now assign a role to this particular group. Now what will happen? What are the users you have under this particular group? Every user will get the same permission. So now if I want to modify this particular users from application administrator to any other what is a role, I want to change it, or I want to add some additional role to this particular users, I can directly assign the role to the group. No need to come to the users. Okay, so that's a benefit we get when you try to handle the users with a group. Okay, so there is no much difference of it. Logically you are trying to group them so that you can manage some particular roles and other things. Actually the main purpose of creating the groups is to handle the access access level permissions. Okay, that is the main purpose of groups. Okay, now it is up to you. If you really want to add a user to the group, then select this, and if you find any particular group, then you have to create, sorry, then you have to attach this user to that particular group. Okay, so now here this is fine. Now I've selected this, and if you want the application user or any other user, just you can do it. Right now I'm not giving any permission. I will show you later how to give a permission to this particular user to access something. Okay, so right now I'm creating a user without any permissions. Means he can log into the dashboard, but he cannot access any services except Azure Active Directory few services. Okay, yeah. So then by default you will get a role called user role. Okay, so the default role, if you don't modify anything for users, you will get a user role. Okay, so do you want to block the user to sign in, then you can select this one. Okay, and if you don't want, you can just usage location, you can also tell like this particular user in which particular regions he need to be accessible. Let's say I want this particular user to access only US East, or let's say Canada. I can select that. Now this particular user can modify or access some particular resources only in that particular region. Okay, you can also specify like that. Okay, this is the flexibility what Azure Active Directory is providing for you. Job title, it is up to you. Let's say developers. Okay, and then department is, let's say we have this is called as dev team, dev, what do you say, dev and op team. Okay, just I'm giving that name. Okay, op, dev and op. Okay, and the department name is DevOps team. Okay, and the company, it's up to you. Okay, what you want to give. Let's say Visualpath. Okay, and the manager, these are like unnecessary things, guys. These are only when you want to give some additional information of the user. It is like a metadata. So metadata doesn't do any operations. It is just a additional information what you are giving for a user. That's it. Okay, now just create it. So you, it doesn't mean that you should also give something. It is not mandate. Okay, so even though if you don't specify the job information, nothing will happen. It is not mandatory. Okay, now you can see the user was created. So how he will log into this particular portal right now? So what he will do, let me open incognito. Okay, let me go there, portal.azure.com. So you will get a login page. Obviously everybody has to access portal.azure.com. Okay, if they need to log into some particular account which is already created. Okay, so now this particular user, the username is this. Okay, if you click on this, you will see the username, right? So this is what you have to give, right? So let me give that particular email. Now you can say why I'm saying this particular user is an organization related user. This is the extension what you can see. Okay, now let me just go to the next, and let me try to give the password. So what password I give, I can remember it. So I have to give that particular password. Okay, so let me give that password. So immediately the next question will be, it will ask you to reset the password. This is the best thing what it is like inbuilt feature of Azure Active Directory, that you have to reset the password, because this password was created by your administrator. Okay, and he might hack, or he might log in with your credentials, and he will do something, right? Okay, so for that reason only you have to reset the password, or else it will not go to the next stage. Okay, so let me reset the password of my user what I've created. I'm just resetting the password, guys. You can see the difference of number of the characters. Okay, and then sign in. So these are the steps, okay, which you have to follow for the first time. Help us protect your account. It is asking you that you need to follow few steps in order to protect your account. Okay, so what I can do, either you can skip for now or you can go for next. Okay, so if you click on next, you'll get some particular page. Let me just show it. Yeah, here is this. You, what you need to do, you need to open your mobile and you have to download your Microsoft Authenticator. Okay, there is a app, actually you can download it. Okay, I already have in my mobile, so I'm trying to go there and I'm trying to register this particular account in that particular app. Okay, so for that what you need to do, first it is telling you that open your phone and just download this particular app. That is what it is telling you. If you have already downloaded, then go to the next. Okay, and then click on next. So what it is telling you, in promote, if promoted, allow notifications, then add an account, select work or school. Okay, so if everybody can just open the mobile and they can search in the Play Store for this particular app, Microsoft Authenticator, just for a testing purpose only. Okay, you can just open it. Okay, so once you install it, right, it will take hardly, it depends upon your internet, so it will take less time to install it. Once it is installed, right, you will get an option like add account. Okay, so when you click on add account, you will get three types of options in the app. Okay, though I am not able to show you, but when you try to add an account in Microsoft Authenticator, right, you will get three options: personal account, work or school account, and then other accounts. Now here it is asking you to select work or a school account, right? So I have to select that. After selecting it, there are two options to log in actually. One is QR code scan, or you can need to sign in by entering the username password. I will use QR code scan. Why? Because it is already showing me this QR code, so I just need to scan it from my mobile. So I can do that, and you can see now I've scanned it. Just a second. Yeah, now it is scanned. Okay, automatically it got registered. Okay, my account was added successfully. Now I know that I can see my account in the app. I can click on next. Okay, so then next. This is the next level of authentication. Okay, so that's how your account is secured. This is, you can call it as multi-factor authentication. Okay, you can also give a try. Okay, nothing will happen, just you need to, nothing will cost. Okay, just you need to open your mobile, install the Microsoft Authenticator, and follow the steps what I've told you right now. Simple. Once the verification was done, right, you will be able to log into your account with your credentials. Say simple. Instead of this user, now I've created one user to log into this particular portal, right? So he is trying to do that. I have opened an incognito Windows. Why? Because I've already logged in, right? So I cannot log in at a time. I have to switch the user. So instead of that, I have did like this. You can see the job info, what I've added. Okay, settings, usage location, and you can see there all other parameters. Oh, we are sorry, we ran into a problem. Resend notification. Okay, resend notification. Let me try to do that. Yeah, I got a notification. Okay, notification in the sense it will ask me to approve or something like that. So I have to click on approve. Okay, once you approve it, you can see there notification approved. So click on next. Okay, now click on done. So you have successfully signed in. Okay, now click on next, and then you are logged into the portal. First you will log into mysignins.microsoft.com. Okay, so don't worry too much. Okay, so let me click on next. Yeah, now you can see that. Okay, maybe later you can see now. But if you observe this, you don't have any subscription, which means that this user is able to log in with the user what I've created in my Azure Active Directory. How I can say like this user belongs to my Azure Active Directory? Okay, let me prove that. Okay, so either if you click on this, you can see here, or else go to view Azure Active Directory because he can access it. Okay, you can see this primary domain, and you can see default directory. Okay, so this is how it is. Now if you go to the users, and can this user can create another users? He cannot. You can see this particular thing, it is grayed out. Grayed out in the sense he cannot do this particular operation. He is having a role called user role. If you go to your roles and administrations, here you can see what role was assigned to this particular user. There is a user role. Okay, user role is just simple thing which he cannot do all the operations by default. Okay, in Azure Active Directory. Okay, now this user was created, but he doesn't belongs to any group, or I have not assigned any role to this particular user except this default role. Okay, you can see this particular thing. Okay, any questions still here? I created a user, that user is belongs to my organization, and that user I have shown you how to log in with the portal. Any questions in this? So straightforward. A daily we do so many logins with different applications, right? It is similar to that. Okay, any other questions? No, right? Okay, now let's say I want to allow this particular users to create other users and all. Okay, if I want to allow, I need to give a permission to this particular user. Okay, so let me show you how to do that. Okay, so I want to assign a role to this particular user. So how to do it? You already know that roles and all, you can see it here, right? Where is it? Roles and administrations. Okay. Now I am the global administrator. You already know that. This user was a global administrator. Now he has the permission to do all the operations in my organization right now. So I am asking him, let's say as a user, I requested him, can you please give me the access so that I can add some users to our Azure Active Directory. So I have, after the discussions and all, we decided that we want to give this particular user a user role in such a way that he can access. Sorry, someone is saying that my voice is not audible. Is that issue for everyone? I just want to know.
No,
Mm,
no,
Your
we
voice
are
is
able
clear.
to hear.
Clear, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you guys relog in if you have some issues? Okay. It could be from your end as well. Yeah. Okay. Now the user was logged in. Okay. Now as a part of our internal operations, I want to have some user who should have a permission to add other users. Other users, he want to do some operations on the users. He need to allow to reset the password and all. Okay. So I want to give that particular role to this Sudhir user. So how to do it? Now he cannot do it because you can see this, right? He can't do anything. Okay. So that's what I want to give this particular user a permission so that he will have a permission for resetting the password, deleting the users, or creating the new users and all. Okay. So go back to the portal. Okay. Who has the permissions? They can log in and they can do this operation. Who has a permission to assign a role to other users? They can do this operation. Okay. Now what I will do, these are the roles which I have. Sorry. Yeah, this is the one, right? This is also fine. So these are the roles which we have. Okay. Whenever you want to see these particular roles, always come here and click on this roles and administrations of our Azure Active Directory. Okay. So this is so clear, right? So go to the users and this is the user. Okay. So click on this particular user and go to the, where's the roles? What happened to this? Oh, just a second, guys. Let me go back. No. Assign roles. Yeah. Here, sorry, I've not seen this particular option. Sorry. So assigned roles. Now I don't have any roles assigned to this particular user. Who is the user? Sudhir user. Okay. Now what I need to do? I need to click on this particular user. See from where I'm doing it. I'm doing from my global administrator user or a user which has a permission to do this particular operation. Okay. Now your task is nothing but identify the roles in Azure Active Directory which is having a permission to modify the to the who let's say identify the role. If you assign that particular role, the user should be able to assign the roles to other users, roles to the other users. Okay, so you need to identify it today and let me know it tomorrow. Okay, I need to identify the roles. If I assign that particular role, he should be able to manage the roles. Means I can assign a role to other users. I can remove the role of other users and all. If I need to do that particular operation, what role should be assigned to me? Global administrator can do it. That is a known fact. Okay. What are the other roles that can be used to modify the roles of a Azure Active Directory? Okay. So that is your task. Just identify it. Okay. Now for this user, this global administrator is trying to add a permission. So click on add assignments and which role I want to assign. That is nothing but user. Search for that like that and you can see here user administrator can manage all aspects of users and groups including resetting the password for limited admins. Okay, so let me click on this and I will say add. Okay, now this is the role which is assigned to this particular user. Okay, now go back to this. Okay, now if I go to this and see, this is the role which is assigned. You can see the assignment path is direct, resource type is organization, and the resource name is directory, and this is the description, and this is a built-in role. Okay, now go back to this particular portal. Okay, let me try to do a refresh. Okay, go to your Azure Active Directory. Now if I go to the users, I'm not able to see it, right? So let me just sign out and re-log in. Just hang on for a couple of minutes, it will automatically sign out, and then again I want to sign in. So click on this and give my password, enter. Now after this you will get authentication. Okay, we registered, right? There you will get some authentication. You have just need to say approve. Okay, so that is what we have to say. After approve it, you can see it is going to the next stage. So click on next. Always you will get a notification. Okay, you have to approve there. It is asking for my mobile details and all, right? So let me do it. So India, and then my extension, some particular number. Okay, I just don't want to show this particular number, so let me stop the screen sharing. Okay, okay. So after giving that mobile number, right, I will get a text code. I have to enter here. Okay, so I'm not showing that. Okay, text code I have to enter here. I got a code. You can see the what is a background notification. So it is 062 and 814, and then click on next. So let me share the screen right now, since the verification was done successfully. Okay, you can see SMS verified, your phone was registered successfully. Okay, so click on next. If you don't want this, you can skip the setup right now. Okay, you can skip the setup right now. So just click on next, and then click on yes. Now you have relogged in once again, and let me go to Active Directory, and let me go to the users. Now you can see the option called add users. Can I click on this? Yes, because you gave a permission to this particular user that he can do the operations related to this, and if I can reset the password, I can do that. But here I'm using a premium version. I have to upgrade it to P1 or P2, then I will get this particular option. Actually, this is related to the license, but here you can see now I can create this. Okay, this is what I can do. Okay, so this is the thing which I want to show you, that what you can do with this particular roles. So this roles belongs to only Azure Active Directory service. Okay, so that's the reason these are called as Azure AD roles. Azure AD in this is Active Directory. Azure AD roles. The roles which belongs to Azure Active Directory is called as Azure AD roles. Okay, so the operations which you want to do on the Azure Active Directory, those roles you have to assign to the users. Okay, it doesn't mean that if you assign that role, he can go to this and he can create a virtual machines, and he can create a container registry, app services. It's not like that. Okay, there are different roles that you need to assign, that is called as RBAC, rollback access control. Okay, that is related to RBAC, and this is related to roles what I've done till now. Okay, so in this way we can register the users. Now if I want to create an external user and I want to allow him to log in, then it is called as guest users. So guest user in the sense simple. You have your personal account. Let's say your client is having a personal account. Okay, and I want to invite that particular user to access my Azure Active Directory tenant. Then you have to allow this user. Or let's say I want to allow this user to create some virtual machines in my portal. I can also do that. For that, first of all, you have to create or you have to invite that particular user. It's not a create, right? Account was already there. Just you have to invite him to our Azure Active Microsoft Azure portal to access, right? So the first user what we have created is an organization user. He belongs to this particular tenant. Okay. Now remember one thing: the user which I have created under this particular tenant will not be visible under this particular tenant. Okay, all are segregated, right? So if I switch back to Sudhi DevOps tenant, and if I go to the users and see, that user is not available. Okay, so another task is find out, can I create a user which he should be able to log into different tenants, multi-tenant authentication. Can I create a user for multi-tenant authentication? Is that possible or not? Is that possible? If it is possible, what are the steps you have to follow? What is the advantage we get? If it is not possible, why it is not possible? So please find out and let me know. Okay, so that is your task. Okay, because you will do some R&D on the Google, right? So that you will come to know the more things than what I've asked. Okay, so that is the reason why I've asked this particular question. Okay, so try to do some R&D, like, is it possible to create a user and he should be able to log into all the tenants in this particular account, default account, default tenant, so the DevOps tenant or Visualpath tenant, whatever created. Is that possible to log into that different tenants? But right now it is isolated. I can show you the proof, right? This is so simple. You can just create a user and see whether that user created in another tenant is visible here. You can say the tenant is Sudhi DevOps, and under this particular tenant, I don't have that user. It is not getting reflected. Why? Because every tenant is isolated with each other. Isolated in the sense they are segregated with each other. Okay, how everybody is in an apartment, right? Everybody is staying in your apartment, but every apartment has its own floor, and every floor has its own, what do you say, portions, right, to stay with their family. So similar to that, every, this is your account, but in this account I can create tenants. Under that tenant I can create a users, okay, to stay in that particular tenant. So it is similar to that. Okay, so yeah, so let me go back to my tenant, default tenant, because I've created a user over there. So let me switch back to it. Switch. Now I want to create a guest user. So if you click on this, and if you click on new user, and if you click on this, and let me get a notification. That is also Sudhir actually, but here let me specify, instead of name like Sudhir, I will say like, I will give some dummy name, okay? Sudhir DevOps. So that Sudhir user and this user will be different. So I'm giving my email address so that I will get an invite, okay? Which means that I will get a link to my email. So first name, last name, it's up to you. And here, if you want to type some personal message while inviting it, you can specify. Hi, Subir, as discussed, let's say I'm typing something which is some professional, okay? As discussed, please log in to our uh, Azure portal and provide the necessary uh, necessary operations to secure the portal. Okay, that's it. Regards, I'll say like regards. Okay, so that we'll be professional, right? The Visualpath team. That's I'm giving that. Okay, now invite. So now I will get to my Gmail account, I will get a invitation. Okay, so let me open that actually. Though I cannot show you everything, but let me show you a few things. First, I need to log into my Gmail. So, I was able to log in. I will show you my account as well, how I got an invite. Okay, yeah. Now you can see. So this is my Gmail account. Okay, you can see here Sudhir dot. Okay, now so this email account you can see a Microsoft invitation. Okay, just click on that. Now you can see here this is the message and this is how the notification looks. Okay, if someone wants to refer and see how it looks, this is the sample one. You can see here organization default directory domain is this. The message was provided by the sender and it is not from Microsoft Corporation. Okay, message from default directory. Okay, invites at the rate microsoft.com. So what is the message? Hi Sudhir, as discussed, please log into our Azure portal and provide the necessary operations to secure the portal. This is what I've typed, right? You can see the regards Visualpath team as well. If you want to accept or reject, you can just click on this particular link. Okay, and if not, you can click on this one as well. Okay, so if you accepted this invitation, you will be sent to this particular thing. Okay, accept invitation. That is what I'm doing right now. So let me do it. Okay, click on next. Okay, it is asking for my Gmail password. Okay, so don't think anything else. This password is nothing but your Gmail password. Enter the code. I think I will get some code. Just a second. Yeah, so give that. I'm showing you everything. Okay, how it looks, what notifications you will get and all. Okay, then next, and click on next. So this puzzle and all, right? It's like, so it has asked me to find out the starfish. I just selected the image and then now accept. Okay, the rules and regulations of this particular portal access. In this same tab I already logged in. Maybe that will get conflict. I need to see. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, no issues at all. You can say this is how you will get a login and you will see the apps and all what permissions you have. I don't have anything. So my applications.microsoft.com, but I need to log into my portal.azure.com, right? So I have to log into that. So here you can see switch to that particular account and now you can see you logged in. Okay, you can see this particular user. This user is not part of our organization, but still I allowed this particular user to log into my portal. Okay, if you want the proof, just click on this Azure Active Directory and just see this details. The tenant ID, the tenant name, primary domain of this particular tenant, and the license key what it is using. And if I go to the users, I can see the users, but not the user what other users have. I cannot create a user. I cannot. I don't have any permissions to do it. Okay, so this is how it looks. And even if I want to click on this roles and administrations also, I don't have. So this is the major difference between the invited user and the user who is part of this particular organization, because this user will have a role by default. Role which will be assigned is nothing but user role, but here it doesn't even have any role, user role. Okay, so we have to set that. Okay, so that is a basic difference between this. Now if I want, I can give some role to this particular user and I can allow him to do some operations. That is my what do you say, as an administrator I will take the decision whether to give that particular role or not. What role should be given, why this particular user was invited to our portal, what is the purpose, what kind of services he need to access. Only those particular services I will give that particular user so that he can access, and once his job is done I will remove that particular user from here. Okay, so simple. I'll come back here and I will go to this particular user. Let's say this user is this. Okay, and I will block this particular user or I will delete this. Okay, so let's say if I say delete user, automatically this user will get deleted. If I refresh this, you can see no access. You don't have access because the user was deleted. Simple. 403 error from Microsoft Azure Active Directory IAM. Simple, right? So this is how it is. So this is how you get a notifications. Okay, verification is one, and the accepting the invitation is one. Okay, now this is how it is. If you want to see how many times you logged into this particular portal and how many times you have did some sign-ins and all, you can click on this sign-in logs, and you can see how many times you have logged in today or day before yesterday or somewhere around. You can see this, right? I can load more, but I can see it. Okay, so have you access from Microsoft App Access Panel or Azure Portal? From where you have accessed also, it is clearly telling you that. See, I have also accessed from Azure DevOps. That is also another portal, right? That also I have used it to log in. So all the things will be shown in this particular portal to do some operations. Okay. Yeah, there are few points which I want to discuss. We'll continue that tomorrow. The simple thing is bulk operations. Bulk operation in the sense, if I want to create some users at a time, and let's say today there are joining some particular new joinees, let's say freshers or experienced person are joining our company. Let's say there are some 200 people who are joining our company today. So how I will create a user's account in this particular portal? They need to log into the system, or they need to log into our applications which are running in our organization. In order to log into that, first of all, I need to create an account for that users in this particular portal. So how I will do it for 100 users? Do I type username, password and everything one by one for 100 times? No, right? I cannot do that particular thing. So as an administrator, I will go to this particular option and I will say bulk create. So here it will ask you a CSV file to upload, the Excel sheet. You will write some Excel sheet. If you don't know how to write the Excel sheet, you can download the sample one and you can add all the 100 users at a time. Once you type in all the users who joined in, and then you can upload. Once it is uploaded and if you say submit, automatically those users will be created in the portal. That's it. So these are called as bulk operations. The bulk operations which you can do is create an invite in the sense create an organization users, create an invited users means other users who are not part of this organization. I can delete a bulk users. If you want to download the users related information what you have created in the portal, you can just download it. Okay, so these are the operations what you can do from the bulk operations. Okay, so that's nothing else, it is just so simple actually. If I want to reset the password of this user, you can click on this and you can click on reset the password. Okay, so right now this is like it is telling you that get a free premium trial to use this feature, so you have to get it. If I click on this, right, it will ask me some, you need to purchase a premium P1 or P2 something like that to use this particular functionality. Self-service password reset, that is an inbuilt feature of Microsoft Azure Active Directory which will help you to reset your own password. Okay, I'll tell you what is the purpose of it, what is the benefit we get when you enable this kind of options for the users. Okay, so that will continue tomorrow and we should also discuss about groups. Okay, and then some more I need to recap all the things about roles and administrators, what we have, how to assign it to a user, all the things I have to show you. Today I've just shown you only a simple one example, right? Tomorrow we will discuss each and every roles what we have, which one we have to use in what situations. Okay, how we can assign multiple roles to a user and how to create a custom roles as well. Okay, let's say all the built-in roles what I have is not satisfying my condition what I'm looking for, then you can create a new role and then you can custom role and then you can allocate to your users or a group. Okay, either you can allocate this particular custom role either to the user or to the group, so that will help me to simplify the job. So it doesn't mean that always you have to use only the built-in role. If you want to customize also, if it is not satisfying your condition, then you have to create a custom role. That also we have to see, right? For that we need to purchase a license key. I'll tell you what license we have to purchase. Okay, so that's all for today and tomorrow we'll continue with this. And day after tomorrow, we'll be starting with virtual machine creations. What is this virtual machine service? How to create it? What are the things we'll have? What are the options we have to know? What is this virtual machine at all? Why not a bare metal servers? Okay, what is hypervisor? So first of all, you need to know the history of how these virtual machines are getting created in the real time in the backend. In Azure AD, okay, Azure or AWS and all, we no need to know it. They are creating it for you, right? But in real time, tomorrow when you work on production servers, means on premises, what is the bare metal servers? How will you know what kind of hypervisors we have in order to create a virtual machines like KVM, QEMU, okay, Zen, and then we have so many. For Windows, we have Hyper-V. There are so many hypervisors. What is this hypervisor? What it does for us? Okay, so all these things we'll come to know, and then we will start creating a virtual machines in this particular service, virtual machine service. Okay, the name itself is a virtual machines. So that's all for today. And if you have any questions, you can stay back, or else we can wind up the session. Did anyone not receive the documents? Two documents, two PDF documents actually. One is related to Resource Manager workflow, and one is related to Azure AD. Everyone received it? Okay,
No,
hoping
Sudhir.
so.
No,
No, no one received it.
I have
No,
You
received
will
it.
receive from the management. Okay, from Visualpath. You'll get an email which will be dropped. Maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow they will create a WhatsApp account, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure when they are taking this decision, but your WhatsApp group will be created. All the people will be added to that particular group. Okay, so that we can have some discussions.
Yeah.
Try to complete that task, or complete the task in the sense it is not a practical session, just a theoretical. Okay, just find out the uh, what is the solution for the task which I've asked. Okay, thank you.